mind your business.
I'm emotion-filled.
Nice view. Believe me. The reading slump is winning.
Hello and welcome back to Alexandria Loves Books. Hello, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for reading with me. Something I've been wanting to get more into in my reading are Christian fiction books. I read not a lot, like a lot of Christian nonfictions, but I want to read fictional stories, but that like are Christian and have like Christian elements, whether like with the characters being Christian or like maybe themes or whatever it may be. I've only read a few like Christian romances and it's very hit or miss for me. Sometimes it's refreshing, other times it's cringy. Definitely want to read more Christian romances and try to find some authors and books and series that I love. And I figured the month of Easter is the perfect time to, you know, dedicate a video to reading Christian romances for a week. So happy early, I have no idea when this video is going up, but as of right now, happy early Good Friday and happy early Easter. I'm in a little bit of a reading slump right now. I'm currently actually in the middle of filming another video of reading an entire fantasy series, and I read the first book and I'm in a little bit of a book slump, so I figured let's read a short Christian romance, and I think that'll just help me read something a little different, read something quick and fast-paced. Hopefully it's less than 250 pages, and that can help me get out of this reading slump so I can get back into that video and reading those books. Book one is Pieces of Forever by Valerie M. Bodden. This is a River Falls novel, so I believe this is a series of like 4 or 5 books, something like that. This is an indie book, which like I think is really cool. I don't really read many indie published books. I have a few, but not many, so that's kind of exciting. I heard about this book from Carly Jo here on YouTube. I believe she enjoyed it. I don't fully remember her review and rating, but I remember seeing it on her shelf or her talking about it or for a TBR or something. I don't fully remember. So I did pick it up. This follows Ava and Joseph. I believe it's a second chance romance. Yeah, so 8 years ago, they had the perfect future planned. He was in vet school or was about to go to vet school. She was going to be a model and they would get married and have dogs and children. And that sounds like my dream. Just dogs and children, please. It just says that a terrible accident happened. I don't know if it's like a car accident or something, but like some way I feel like her face probably got distorted or something, like scars or something along that nature. And so she made him promise to leave and live out their dreams without her. But he's never broken a promise to Ava until now. So now he's gone to vet school. He's determined to return to the River Falls, show her that the promise still stands to spend forever together and that he loves her just the way she is. I'm excited to read this and hopefully I can just read it all in one weekend. That's my plan. So let's get to reading. A brief little reading update. I'm on page 55, chapter 10. This is a very fast-paced book, I feel like. The writing is very simple, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I feel like it's gonna be very predictable, but that's like exactly what I'm in the mood for right now. Just something that's like comforting, relaxing, and enjoyable without taking too much of my brain to like stay focused or to like think too deeply on it, you know? We've already had their little reunion. We're kind of learning a little bit more about the characters and their like childhood sweethearts, second chance, which just makes me feel more connected to them, and I'm really excited for her to overcome her struggles with her scars and everything, and the parts where, you know, God is mentioned, because so far I know that he, Joseph, he's a man of God. He multiple times has like talked to God or like thanked God, but it's never like too much, because I feel like some books it's like for like modern contemporary Christian romance, it can be like in your face Christian, and like that's not like a bad thing, but it just doesn't come off natural, and this doesn't, it feels balanced. It doesn't feel like it's shoving it down your throat, but it also doesn't feel like it's a super small aspect. It feels just like a normal, like a, not a normal Christian, but like it feels normal, like an actual person of faith would think this way or talk that way. I don't really know her relationship with God yet, but so far I'm enjoying it, and I just think it'll be a really refreshing read, especially when I'm in this like reading slump a little bit right now. Can I help you? Wow. When the author's bio says that she writes emotion-filled Christian fiction, she wasn't lying. We're like 116 pages in and I've already cried. I've already been tearing up. I am emotion filled. Not just this book, but me. I'm emotion filled. We were having this huge will they, won't they moment, page 150, and I got so excited because it seemed like it was going to be a will, not a won't, but it's a won't. Not yet. I think if I started reading this earlier in the day, I could have finished this whole thing in a day. I mean, I technically, if I really dedicated the rest of my night to this, I could still finish this in one sitting. But I don't think I'm actually gonna do that tonight because I wanna shower and continue watching America's Next Top Model. But I'm connected. Yeah, it's simple, nothing too crazy, a little predictable, but I'm eating it up. And that's what matters. What? You don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Epilogue. I guess I'm reading this book in a day. Crazy how that happens. I thought this book was 248 pages. No, it's 228 pages. I just finished this. I just read this in a day. I enjoyed this. There's a lot of books or a lot of times where a book can be really interesting to me and I want to read it and I want to know what's up and what happens. But the thought of actually sitting and reading all of the words for hundreds of pages sounds daunting and not the vibe. But this was such a different, just change of pace, something completely different from what I was reading that it had a fast pace. It was easy writing. It was an easy, simple story that didn't take much brain power and it still kept me entertained. And so actually looking at all of these words was enjoyable. I felt very connected to just his patience for her. He's loved her since they were kids and he's literally been so patient, and she pushed him away and he waited 8 years and now he's back and he's loved her this whole time and he's still pursuing her and being patient with her now that he's back in River Falls. Which, just side note, I don't know how you can be in love with someone for 8 years, with 8 years of not seeing and interacting with them. I get having love for the person, but how can you remain in love with a person for 8 years? You don't even know who that person is anymore. Who I was 8 years ago versus who I am now versus who I will be in 8 years are such different people. So that's just a wild thing. Even though she was frustrating me at times because it was really hard for her to work through some of her insecurities and everything, I understood her and I connected with her, and I loved the sermons in this book. So Joseph, his dad, is the pastor, and you don't read about every week's service, but they do go to church, and then you read about some of the sermons and the way that it applies to them or to one of them or to an aspect of something that they're going through, and the way that it moves them. I thought it was so beautiful that that's how church is. A lot of the times you go to church and you're did the pastor read my thoughts? How did he know that that's what I needed to hear right now? But really it's God, and God knows what you need to hear in that moment and uses pastors, priests, ministers to really speak on those topics that he knows his children need to hear. It's between a 3.5 and a 4-star, so maybe a 3.75. I'd say this was a success. I found a Christian romance that I really enjoyed, and I want to read more by this author. Okay, so it is actually a few weeks later, but don't tell anyone because I think I'm titling this Reading Christian Romances for a Week. I lied. That's not very Christian of me. Anyway, I just got back from a table read reading one of my friend's scripts that she wrote, and it was really fun. And I look really cute. In my personal opinion, I actually have my makeup on, which I don't have my makeup done often. And I'm like, you guys just get me all natural most of the time. So you need to see she can do both. So I'm actually now motivated to start reading the next book, the thick one. I don't know much about this one, but I love Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. It is one of my favorite books. It is so heart-wrenching, but so beautiful and powerful, and I love it so much. So the masterpiece is, I believe, a contemporary Christian romance compared to Redeeming Love being historical. Roman has everything he wants, so money, women, fame. But Grace, his newly hired personal assistant, knows how little he really has. He has demons in his past. He has a mansion, and the Topanga Canyon view. That's a nice view. Believe me. He tags buildings as the Bird, a notorious but unidentified graffiti artist. An alter ego that could destroy his career, land him in prison. And Grace is also wrestling with ghosts of her own. She had a disastrous marriage, and she vowed never to let love steal her dreams again. I think they're gonna fall in love.
One day later.
It's the next day, and I'm only like 50 pages into the masterpiece. I thought I'd read for like 2 hours yesterday. That did not happen. I tried reading this morning, and I read for like 45 minutes, and then was just like over it. Guys, I'm in the middle of 5 books right now, and I don't feel like reading any of them. Like, I want all of them to be read. I want to have read them all, but I don't want to actively read them. I have really no feelings. I'm not connected to them yet. I just like don't care yet, really. They have like assumptions about each other, or they have feelings about each other that don't make sense to me. Like, he's like, I just like having her around. You don't interact with her. She's working in the office, and you're like in your studio working in art. Like, even though she's your assistant, like, you don't interact much, and we haven't really seen much interaction. So what about her is making you want her presence to just be around you? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And then she's making like judgments and assumptions based on how he looks, and so she doesn't know if she can trust him, which like might actually be true, but she doesn't have much to base it off of. I don't know. I don't really care, and part of me just doesn't want to read. It's a thick book, but I'm running out of time for this video. It's 484 pages. I don't want to read this. I don't want to read any of the 5 books I'm in the middle of right now.
Several days later.
I don't remember the last time I updated you guys. I've not been reading well. I'm on page 107 of the masterpiece. I ended up listening to a few chapters on like the audiobook on Spotify. I just can't get into it. Just as I'm reading this, like, I don't have any desire to like sit and read it. I think I'm going to kind of soft DNF this, but I'm gonna come back to it. It's not a bad book. It's just not the right time for me to read this. My brain just can't handle this chunky, thick book. And I think Francine Rivers' writing and stories, they are well-rounded, they are very detailed, they're very intricate, and they're complex, which is good. It makes for a great book, makes for a great story, great writing. But I just need to be in the right mindset to be able to sit down and actually read a story like that is so like detailed, and it's not drawn out, I wouldn't say, but because of how much there is to the story, it kind of seems drawn out when I'm in a reading slump. Instead, I'm going to read the second book in the River Falls series by Valerie M. Bodden. This is the second book after Pieces of Forever that I read earlier in this video. I believe there's 6 books, but they are so short, and they are not as hearty. I don't know, they're quick, they're under 300 pages. I can finish this in a day or 2. I really hope so, because otherwise I'm in the middle of 7 books. If you see me, this video is not going to come out as I'm reading this, but if you happen to have seen on Goodreads or Fable me being in the middle of like 7 books, mind your business.
1,000,000 zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
I failed. I'm a failure. I'm the worst booktuber. Don't know how I could have let this happen. I don't know how I couldn't just push through. But the reading slump is winning. I know I'm being like so dramatic right now, but it's how I feel. The fact that every clip since reading the first book has just been me being like, okay, I'm gonna start this book. Okay, I don't feel like it. Okay, I'm gonna try listening to the audiobook. Okay, I'm gonna actually try to read this book instead. Okay, I don't feel like reading this book. Like, it's, I feel that this was inevitable, and I think we all kind of saw the trajectory of this video and where it was gonna go. I picked up Songs of Home, the second book in the River Falls series, yesterday, and I have my bookmark in, and I am on page 2, and I chose to stop reading it. And you wanna know why? It's like a petty, stupid reason. I will read this eventually, like I do wanna read it, but I'm in such a reading slump that like the smallest, not icks, but icks, that if like I'm just not in the mood for it, just make me not wanna read it. The last sentence in the first paragraph. And for the first time in 40 years, her parents wouldn't be here to say they loved her. Okay, that's sad. The fact that she's in her 40s, I was like, I can't connect to a 40-year-old right now. There's nothing wrong with that. I do read books with the main characters in their 40s, but I have to be like open to it. I'm in my mid-20s and I still feel like I'm a teenager. So the books I like to read are characters that are in their late teens, 20s, early 30s. That's like the age range that I can still connect to and understand and like feel invested in. If they're younger than like 17, they annoy me. If they're older than 35, they annoy me. So I soft DNF this for now. You saw me read Pieces of Forever, the first book in the series, and I did enjoy it. I rated it, 3.75 stars. I'm about 135 pages into the masterpiece. I've been listening to the audiobook here and there, but not often. This is just, she's a chunk. This is not enough emotional depth. This is too much emotional depth for where I'm at right now. And then I technically did read another Christian book, but it's nonfiction, and that's why I didn't include it in this video. Like I didn't film reading updates because this video was supposed to be like just Christian romances. But I read or listened to the audiobook of Breaking Free from Body Shame by Jess Connolly. This book is really about breaking free from body shame and acknowledging that God made our bodies and said that they are good. And yes, there might be, that's not promoting, unhealthy habits. I think a lot of people think like body positivity is like, oh, you're promoting obesity. You're promoting, not taking care of yourself. And that's not true. This book is like, it has like the perfect balance of like, let's take care of our bodies as an act of worship, but not like, let's not work out as punishment or eat less as a punishment to like look a certain way or conform to society standards. I felt like this was very encouraging to me as someone that struggled with weight loss, with weight gain over literally my entire 24 years of life. And like also the way that we talk about our bodies and the way that we like teach our children about body image. I've just noticed older people in my life growing up making comments about my weight as a child, which what? It is so like messed up. Why do that? But also them making all these comments about their own bodies and then making comments about strangers' bodies. And it immediately teaches you that like, oh, my body's bad. God still said it was good. We don't have to change our bodies to be something that we can love. We should be doing these acts as a way to love our bodies. I love this book and I really think that every woman should read this book, but I truly think understanding how the Father and the creator of your entire being sees you and designed you and loves you has a huge impact in the way we view our bodies and ourselves. Anyway, I rated this 5 stars, my second 5 stars of the year. So this is this fail of a week of reading. 2025 is the year of the reading slump, I fear. Let me know if you're in a reading slump. Let me know if I'm not alone. And let me know if you read any of these books, what your thoughts are, any other Christian books, nonfiction, fiction, romance, etc. that you like and would recommend, because I would love to hear some recommendations. I feel like a lot of Christian books that I've read in the past, like fiction ones, they tend to be really cringe and not great quality. So I would love some good recs. Thanks for watching and sticking with me through this heck of a reading slump. Hopefully we will break this slump soon. I will see you in my next video. Happy reading!
Sunset whispers in the breeze. Memories hold me tight.